Chapter 9 of Ramayana's Balakanda. Vishwamitra and the Young Princess. Jai Shri Ram. Vishwamitra walked in front and he was followed by Rama with a bow in his hand, with a sword at his waist, and quivers fastened to his shoulders. Attired similarly, Lakshmana walked just behind Rama, and the citizens saw with their eyes wide with wonder at the beautiful spectacle. The rishi like a sacrificial fire, and the two young men like smokeless flames leaping out of it. They looked like five-headed serpents, accoutred as they were for fighting. Several thought of the Ashwini twins following Brahma when they saw the two princes walking behind the sage. Their fingers were protected by guards made of skin, and their scabbards, which had been set with precious stones, gleamed in the sunlight. Soon they reached the banks of the river Sarayu, the southern side of it. There, in a very sweet voice, Vishwamitra called out, "Rama." There was a wealth of affection behind it. He said, "Child, fill your palms with water. I will teach you the mantras, Bala and Atibala, Bhala and Atibala. Once you know them, neither hunger nor fatigue nor thirst will trouble you while walking with me, and there will be no trace of tiredness bothering you when you walk this long distance to the ashrama. You will not be at a disadvantage if the Rakshasas should accost you when you are tired. Rama, I know there is no one on the face of this earth to equal you in prowess, in bravery, in all the many qualities that make up an ideal Kshatriya. Why, even in the three worlds, I am yet to see the like of you. There is no one to equal you in handsomeness, in skill, in wisdom, in the art of conversing with people. Fortunate indeed is Dasharatha to have you as his son, and I am fortunate too that you will be with me constantly for a while. As for these mantras, Bala and Atibala, they will make you respected by everyone in all the three worlds. They are the daughters of Brahma. I know that only you are worthy of learning them. Listen to me carefully and learn the mantras." Rama touched water and meditated on the Lord with great humility. He then learned the mantras from the rishi. Rama looked more powerful than ever after his initiation into the mantras. The young men then paid their respects to the great man as was the custom, and they proceeded to make the preparations to spend the night on the banks of Sarayu. They spread dried grass and leaves on the ground, and after seeing to the comforts of Vishwamitra, the royal sons spent the night comfortably on the beds to which they were not accustomed. When the night waned into daylight, Vishwamitra approached Rama, who was still asleep, and paused for a while to drink with his eyes the beauty of Rama. Vava. When the night waned into daylight, Vishwamitra approached Rama, who was still asleep, and paused for a while to drink with his eyes the beauty of Rama. He then said, "Rama, Kausalya's beloved child, the first Sandhya is approaching. Rouse thyself from sleep and perform the morning ablutions." It would be well said if it is told in Sanskrit, which is Kausalya Supraja Rama Sandhya. Kausalya Supraja Rama Sandhya Pravartate Uttishta Kamala Kanto Trailokyam Mangalam Kuru. The princes got up at once, bathed in the waters of the river, and offered arghya to the sun standing in the waters. They then approached the rishi and prostrated before him. They began to walk again in pursuit of the journey. They reached the spot where the Sarayu joined the divine river Ganga. They looked at the glorious sight with wonderment in their eyes. They saw there several ashramas and the rishis were bent on tapas. The princess approached Vishwamitra and asked him, "Whose ashrama is this holy place? Who dwells here? Please tell us." A gentle smile lit up the face of Vishwamitra when he saw the eagerness of the young men, and he said, "I will tell you how this ashrama came into existence. Eons of time have passed since then. But then there was a time when Kama, the god of love, had a form and features. Once Lord Mahadeva was performing tapas here. He had lost his wife Sati, and with his mind filled with anger and sorrow, he came here all alone and was absorbed in meditation. Parvati, the daughter of Himavan, was serving him. The Devas were desirous that he should wed her since Parvati was Sati, born again as the daughter of Himavan. The gods had been told that the son born of them would be the commander of the army of the Devas. Indra asked Kama to go to the neighborhood of the spot where Mahadeva was, and he was asked to aim his arrows at the Lord. When Parvati was standing before Mahadeva, he had just opened his eyes, and Kama thought it was an opportune moment to shoot his arrows made of flowers. The Lord was hit, and he turned to see who had the audacity to do this, and his eyes lighted on Kama. Mahadeva was furious, and he opened his third eye, the eye of Agni, and burned Kama. Kama was from then without a form and is now famed as Ananga, the formless one. The spot where his ashes were wafted to is known as the country Anga. As for this ashrama, you must have guessed that this is the spot where Kama was burnt to ashes, and these rishis are all disciples of Mahadeva. It is rightly named Kamashrama. Let me take you to the rishis there. They will be pleased to see you both, and they will bless you. In the place where the two holy rivers become one, let us spend the night, and we will cross the Ganga tomorrow. After purifying ourselves, we will enter the ashrama. The rishis who knew all that had happened in the past and who could look into the future beyond the wheel of time knew who had come to their ashramas and were immensely pleased. They welcomed Vishwamitra with great affection, and they were thrilled to see the young men who were so humble and so gentle in their speech and in their conduct. The guests spent a happy time in the Kamashrama with the rishis, and Vishwamitra entertained them with stories about the many spots which they were to visit. Jai Shri Ram. Shri Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha. Chapter 10 of Ramayana's Balakanda. Tataka Vana. Jai Shri Ram. Day dawning, the warriors led by Vishwamitra reached the banks of the river Ganga. The rishis who were there secured for them a boat and told Vishwamitra, "Please use this boat to cross the river with the prince. Do not tarry." "So be it," said Vishwamitra, and the three travelers sat in the boat and crossed the river Ganga, which was flowing towards the sea. When they were crossing, in the midst of the river, they heard a great noise. Rama and Lakshmana were impressed by the thunderous noise, which was continuous, and Rama said, "Lord, where is this roar from? It is wondrous and at the same time fearful." "I will tell you," said the sage. "Brahma once created out of his mind a lake which is rightly named Manasa Sarovara. This river Sarayu, which flows all along the edge of your city Ayodhya, was born out of this Saras. At this spot, actually, she is blending with the golden waters of the Ganga. Salute the two rivers." They did as they were bid, and soon they reached the southern banks of the river. They resumed their talk. After a while, they reached a dark forest. It was dense and damp. No light from the sun could filter into the forest, so thickly were the tree branches intertwined. But what surprised Rama was the beauty of the forest and a strange lack of habitation there. This spot, which seemed ideally suited for any number of ashramas, was empty, and there was an eerie and frightening silence pervading the entire place. Only animals seemed to make their presence felt. Rama said, "My lord, what strange noises! Beetles are making shrill music, and the wild animals are roaring and making characteristic noises. Even the birds seem to cry harshly, and there is no music emanating from their throats. The trees are all dense, and they have darkened the place. I am not able to see anything. I cannot see the sun at all. Tell us what forest this is and why it is deserted by human beings." Vishwamitra was pleased with the natural curiosity of the youngsters, and he said, "I will tell you. This forest was not really a forest before. Two countries by name, Malada and Karusha, were existing here. They were fertile, and they were all well populated. Indra, when he slew Vritra, was guilty of Brahmahatya. He was purified by the heavenly host of rishis with waters from all the sacred rivers, and he was rid of the sin. This was the ground on which the waters flowed from the body of Indra, and the Lord of the heavens, pleased with the earth for having received the polluted water, said, 'I bless this ground. The countries will be called Malada and Karusha, and they will be extremely fertile.' The fame of these two was a byword in the three worlds, since they had been blessed by Indra. Now, several years later, a terrible Rakshasi by name Tataka took possession of this. She is ugly, horrible to look at, cruel by nature. She can assume any form she likes, and she has the strength of 1,000 elephants. She is the wife of a good Yaksha by name Sunanda, and her son is Maricha, who will bring you fame in later years. This Rakshasi has occupied the entrance to the two countries, and no human being dares to enter here, since she is extremely fond of human flesh. A yojana and a half from where we are standing now is her dwelling place. I am asking you to kill her. Kill this Tataka and make this land habitable once more. You, and only you, will be the man who has courage enough to enter the land occupied by the dreadful women, and as for the number of human beings she has consumed, there is no count. This Tatakavana does not boast of a single inhabitant. Still, she will not abandon this place and go anywhere else." Rama was listening to the words of Vishwamitra very carefully. He then asked in a soft and gentle voice, "My lord, you tell me that she is the wife of a Yaksha. I have been told that Yakshas are not so powerful, and as the other heavenly beings, like the Devas, for instance. How then can a mere woman be so strong? You say that she has the strength of 1,000 elephants. How can that be possible?" "It is a pertinent question," said Vishwamitra. "It is because of a boon which she was granted. Once there was a powerful Yaksha by name Suketu. He had no sons, and so he performed a very intense tapas. Pleased with him, Brahma granted him a daughter by name Tataka. She was granted the strength of 1,000 elephants. But the Yaksha did not get what he had prayed for, a son. But it was the will of the gods, and so, satisfied with the gift which had been granted to him, the Yaksha brought up his daughter as he would a son. She grew up to be a beautiful maiden, and when she was of a marriageable age, he gave her to Sunanda the son of Jarjara. In course of time, she gave birth to a son by name Maricha. Sunanda died, and after his death, Tataka's nature underwent a change. She went with her son to the ashrama of Agastya and began to harass that great man with her advances. She desired him, and with this desire evident by her progress, Tataka went towards Agastya. Looking at her and her behavior, which was entirely against all modesty expected of a woman, Agastya, who was radiant as Lord Agni himself, became very angry and he cursed her to become a Rakshasi. You will lose these attractive feminine looks and you will be ugly and formidable. You will eat human flesh and be despised by all, said the Rishi. Furious with Agastya for this curse, Tataka has occupied this country and she has been killing anyone and everyone who had been foolish enough to enter this forest without knowing about her. Rama, for the sake of protecting the human beings in the neighborhood, the hermits, the cows, and other gentle animals, you are to kill this Rakshasi. No one but you will be able to kill her. I know that you are not very keen. You are not happy about it since she is a woman. But then, the duty of a Kshatriya, as I know only too well, is to protect the oppressed and the good. It has been the glory of the house in which you are born that no one has shirked in his duty, which is doing good to others. Several people have killed women for the common good. Why? Indra himself killed Mandhara, the daughter of Virochana, who had been wanting to destroy this entire world. Bhrugu's wife, the mother of Shukra, once desired that there should be no Indra, and Lord Narayana himself killed her. Several other women who have been sinful have been killed in the past. Do not hesitate to kill Tataka. The prince stood humbly in front of the Rishi and said, My father, when he sent us with you, said, Go with him and obey him in all things as you would my commands. He spoke to me in the presence of the elders of his court, and I will never disobey my father. I will certainly do as you ask me to. I will kill Tataka since you have asked me to. It is a command and it should be obeyed. For the sake of protecting the hermits and the cows and for the good